Welcome back. As we promised, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue following up the latest developments in Gaza, whether on the ground or on the diplomatic front. And on Saturday, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia hosted a very important summit, a joint Arab-Islamic summit with the participation of more than 50 leaders from the Arab and Islamic worlds, of course, with the participation of Egypt and of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to discuss the latest situation and the developments, and urging the international community to shoulder its responsibility regarding the bloodshed and the loss of more than 11,000 innocent lives, mostly children and women in the Gaza Strip. Well, the president described the situation as unprecedented, and unfortunately it's continuing on the ground. To shed more light on the summit and on the latest developments in Gaza, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you. And let's put it this way before going into details. Now, as if the game is being played with open cards, we use the words genocide, we use the word occupation, we use the word intimidation against civilians, unprecedented sufferings, the ICC, investigations into war crimes. How do you see now, sir, the usage of these words rather than the soft tones which were used before, like urging self-restraint, taking into consideration that we agree that there are some provocations which may result in certain violence? No, the case now is different.
Yes, whatever the way we are looking to what is happening, it is a crime by all means. Mm-hmm. It is a sort of non-respective way of the international law. And to any normal feeling of a human being towards other human beings. Because war is a war, but the war is always presented by people who are fighting with honor. Which honor is this? By killing children and old people and women. Mm. So I think that the conference was very important. I followed the speech of our president because it was short and to the point.
Very
it described
precise.
The whole situation quite well, and he gave 6 immediate requests to the situation, starting by stopping the killing, stopping the war. Second, to open the border to make us able to help the Palestinians with water. My goodness, water and medicine and supplies. Mm. And I think that answering, many people on the mass media are asking whether the decision or the declaration of the summit has any power. This is not the case of the power. It represents the Islamic world. We are talking about 1,400 million inhabitants. Mm. And this is the power of the declaration of this meeting. So,
and the president, sir, also said that since the very beginning, Egypt warned against more escalation, particularly with the besieged enclave. I mean, this blockade is one of the most important threats. If the women and children are not were not killed or martyred, to be accurate, by the bombardments, they were martyred by the lack of food, fuel, water, you name it.
Exactly, and really nobody in the whole world accepting this way of treating between enemies even.
Yeah.
And we gain day after the other a lot of support, even in the streets, even from the Jewish communities in Europe and the United States. Mm-hmm. So the thing which I highly depend on is Palestinian resistance. Mm. Really, I admire the way the Palestinians are sticking to their land. They will never leave it, and we shall not allow this way of transfer the Palestinian to migrants.
But with a very heavy price, sir. The price is
It
very
is,
dear.
it is very heavy price, but
Yeah.
if you are fighting for your land, any price is not the case. It's not the problem. The problem is you stick to your land. Because
Yes.
even people everywhere in the world are realizing what's the future of Israel with this attitude, the attitude of an enemy to half of its population. One day the Palestinian will outnumber the Jewish people. Which future to a country which is occupying part of Syria, part of Lebanon, making a sort of attack against all the borders around it. So no future is really well seen to Israel. And this is what some smart people in the Jewish community started to realize. Even the President of the United States, which is the main supporter of Israel, started to say that the only solution here is a two-state solution. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but we are surrounded with a double standard of treatment. They see quite well the right of Israel to attack the Palestinians. They don't see the right of the Palestinians to defend themselves. But
Of the most important statements which were released, sir,
and we have to live with
yeah.
it.
No, I mean, since you mentioned self-defense, one of the most important statements which were released after the conference is that what's going on can never be justified as self-defense. And this is also one of the most important messages which were sent to the international community. I think now it's very clear. And in addition to some other, I would say, unanswered questions. Because, for example, in the speech of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, he urged or he asked the IAEA to show or to reveal the truth regarding the nuclear weapons of or weaponry of Israel after their cultural or heritage minister said that it's possible to use nuclear weapons in Gaza. I mean, how a statement like that can be released from one of the top officials of a country which is just close to all of us? Isn't it a national security threat?
It is a big mistake of somebody who's supposed to be responsible in this government. But unfortunately, this is not a government. It is a sort of a tribe which is highly extremist against any law. And now we are asking the whole world what is the situation of Israel concerning the nuclear weapons. And by the way, we once asked the Minister of Defense of the United States during the Obama time why you are closing your eyes when the nuclear arsenal concerned Israel, and you are so nervous if you are talking about North Korea or Iran. And the answer was really a sort of a joke. He said, because we are not feel threatened if the country owned the nuclear weapon is a democratic country. And we are a little bit concerned when the country is not a democratic one. All the audience started to laugh and asked them, what if you are the victim? Will you be satisfied if you are bombed with a democratic bomb? And by the way, that's the only time in our history where the atomic bomb was used. It was a democratic bomb by the United States in Hiroshima and Nagasaki of Japan.
August
So
1945.
we have to live with all these lies.
Yeah.
And but it is quite clear, and nobody can deny that these are lies, lies, lies. But our position is very strong, and I hope that we shall continue.
Our position is very strong, sir.
All the time.
Our position is very strong due to the Israeli atrocities, or because finally we found a kind, or we realized on the ground a kind of unity among different Arab and Islamic leaders. I mean, one of the positive signs we had 2 days ago in the Saudi capital to find the return of Bashar al-Assad of Syria to their seat in a meeting of the Arab League, and to find Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi side by side with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, gathering all those leaders together and to have a unified word regarding what's going on. Isn't it another message that our unity can be the solution for any catastrophic events like those we are living in right now?
Yes, of course, and also we made a story of success in the United Nations General Assembly when we have a very strong decision there with the support of 120 countries. Really, nobody voted against this decision, except some very few countries, and all the countries were either supporting the decision or abstain. That was another story of success. In the African Union, we have a full support in the African Union to the Palestinian cause. They consider Palestine as a member of the African Union, although Palestine is not an African country.
Yeah.
So
and the speech of Musa Faqih, the AU commissioner, it was really to the point, sir, too.
Exactly,
sir, since you mentioned, sir, the UN, also of the important decisions which were taken after the gathering and which was announced in the press conference of His Excellency Prince Faisal bin Farhan, Saudi Foreign Minister, along with the Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait, the formation of a committee comprised of the foreign ministers of Egypt, Palestine, Jordan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey, to convey these messages to the international community and to insist on the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with Al-Quds as its capital. How do you see the formation of this committee, sir, and what's going to be its main goals or main tasks, to be accurate?
Also very important, because previously we lack a sort of active information about our case. Now we are following this, and we are giving all our efforts in order to make the whole world realize what is going on. That was a sort of lacking the strength of our information previously. Now we are gaining more ground every day, and this committee is very important. It will give more and more strength to our mass media and to our way to inform the whole world about the crime which is going on in Gaza and in the Palestinian territories. So I hope that this will lead as soon as possible to stopping this crime and to start letting the Palestinians live normal life, hoping that this will lead in another step to serious negotiations between the parties, because even those who are supporting Israel, even a good portion of the Jewish community in the world started to see that the two-solution countries is the only possible solution, because even one country with 6 million Palestinians and a little bit more of a Jewish community is not anything which will benefit Israel at all.
A possible solution, sir, for a government or for a state which really seeks peace. But we have heard these days about something which I found really as a silly joke. Proposals to separate Gaza from the West Bank. And the PLO and the whether Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas or his spokespersons said it that clear. Gaza is not going to be separated from the West Bank. The West Bank is part and parcel of the territory of that should be Palestinian state. How do you see these calls, or how do you see these proposals? Reasonable? I mean, is this something which can be negotiated in the first place?
No, but it is, as you rightly said, it is a joke. And I always tease the Israelis when I talk to them. You are asking the Palestinians to leave their land, and you invite a Jewish Russian or a Jewish American to come and to replace them, where neither him or his grandfather have seen this land or have any relation with it. And as a matter of fact, we have to live with all these jokes, as you rightly describe it. And it's quite clear more and more that it is a big joke.
Yeah.
But I must confess that we have a problem on our side also, that Hamas is not recognizing the position of the Palestinian Liberalization Organization. This is a sort of a very bad position on the Arab side. We have to convince Hamas to recognize the PLO as the only leadership and the only representative of the Palestinian people. And thank God that we had a visit of some high officials from Hamas a couple of days ago, and I think Egypt is doing its best.
And they had an important meeting with our top executives, particularly the intelligence agency chief, Abbas Kamel. Well, sir, thank you very much for your input. Have a very good day. You're always an added value to our programs and to our screen. We were very much delighted to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more. Stay tuned.